Hello. So, good morning to you. So, today we're going to start challenges in training program. Challenges in training program addressing obstacles for effective development. So, this is the chapter we need to start. So, from the text itself, we can, from the line itself, also from the, you can say the title itself, we can see what are the obstacles here while doing the training program. Basically, there is a lack of resources. The first important part is the lack of resources. Due to lack of resources, the training or the fruitful training, which is very much essential, it cannot be completed. Okay, and apart from this, lot of facilities which required for training, that is also not it cannot be fulfilled through the training purpose while doing the training. And apart from this, insufficient time, that also can lead to you can see obstacles, creating an obstacles while doing training. So from you can see from the paragraph itself that there are the two important points the writer has put. Okay, the first one is the facilities. He's talking about the facilities. The facilities, if not up to the mark, okay, then what will happen? There will be a lack of problems while doing the training. Okay, if the facilities is not up to the mark, suppose for example, say for an example, in a industrial part. Okay, the industrial is going. Okay, industries, the management is looking after the resources. Management is looking after the not sorry, not resources. Management is very much concerned only about the profit, not looking after the facilities, not looking after the time, and not looking after the trainings that required to upgrade the you can see the workers. Okay, so finally, what will happen to cope up with the situation or to cope up in the generation with the coming generations or the new generations where the AI technologies is now being boom in the market, they will fail to do the profit or they will fail to cope up with that. Why? Because there is an insufficient resources, lack of time, lack of facilities, and also the effective program, which is one of the most important part that cannot be fulfilled. Effective program, effective training program means the program which is very much effective towards the goal and towards the development of the, you can see, the workers. Okay, that cannot be fulfilled. So if there is a lack of resources, then following are the criteria or following are the important points which you need to require, which you need to mention. First of all, facilities. The next one is time, and the third one is insufficient, you can see, effective program, or no any effective program is there. So in this resources, three more important sub points is very much added to this. Then comes to the next, resistance to change. Come to the next point is the resistance to change. What's the meaning of this resistance to change? It means that employees may be reluctant to adopt new methods or technologies introduced through training, impacting the implementing process. Okay, this is the next important point you need to remember, that resistance to change. Employee may not be reluctant to adopt new methods or technologies inducted through the training, impacting the implementation process. Now, some employees are there, some workers are there, industries who want to remain the same, who doesn't want to change as it required according to the time. According to the time, some workers or some employees are there who doesn't want to change their attitudes, their skill level, okay, their way of doing works. Okay, they doesn't want to adopt the new technologies, they doesn't want to adopt new training skills, they doesn't want to adopt new what you can say, new developments. They want to remain in the same position, okay, for the years and the years. Okay, so this is another challenging important, or this you can see or you may see, this is another important aspects of developing the industries. This is another important problem. Now, say for example, in education industry, I'm talking about the education field. Many professors are there who are very much, you can see, they are working in the education sector, say for about 15 to 20 years. Okay. Now the problem is that you cannot means ordered in from the point of respect, you cannot ordered or cannot show fingers to those employees or to those who has given their 15 to 20 years to this education industry for their development. Now the problem is that according to the new technologies, inception of new technologies, this type of categories of professors or this categories type of employees, they doesn't want to change as the time needs or as the time required. So what will happen? The problem is that there is a big resistance in the change. You can see there is a big resistance. There is a big barriers if you want to make a change because they are not accepting the changes. So what will happen? So what will happen? The industry will remain the same. You cannot means you cannot depart or you cannot keep aside those employees who are working or who are giving their 15 to 20 years of their life working in the industry. You cannot step them aside or you cannot set them back. Okay, you need to be keeping them in the front. So there must be some other ways you need to include to complete the effective training process. Okay, this is another important big challenges, or you can say this is another important barriers while doing the training. Very, very important. The next one is lack of engagement. The another one is lack of engagement. This is another important part you need to see. What is this? Means lack of engagement here means boring of irrelevant training content can lead to the disengagement among the participant, reducing the learning and retention of information. This is another important problem you see. A very, very important problem you need to understand. What is that? That what the training kits, the training or the what you can say, the mentor of the trainings or the trainer who is not so much reluctant about the subject, who is not much reluctant about the topics, okay, who doesn't have irrelevant experience in the particular field. Okay, this lead to the lack of engagements. This lead to the lack of engagement. Okay, now see for an example, a very simple way I can make you understand. See, for example, for MBA paper, for this paper, ma'am has uh, chosen me to teach you particular this topic, not particular this topic, particular MBA portion of this of the syllabus. Now, if I'm not competent enough, if I'm not reluctant enough, or I am not so much effective enough to give you the proper information regarding the topic or regarding the subject or regarding the syllabus that assigned to me, then what will happen? There will be a lack of engagement, and the more thing is that in lieu of that, there may be a irrelevant contents or insufficient contents or reducing the learning pattern or reducing the engagement of the you can say students. I'm giving some example relating to the education industry. Okay, this is another important points that if you want to be, if the industry want to grow, then you need to keep your mentors or your trainers a skillful trainers, a skilled trainers, experienced trainer who can engage this, who can take the training process on a very large scale, who can take the training process, you can say, to the next level. Then only it can be possible to have the engagement. So these are, you can see the means these are the, you can see the challenges or you can see the obstacles for effective training purpose. The number one is lack of resources. In lack of resources, there must be a shortage of time. There must be insufficient time. There must be insufficient training facilities, insufficient monetary problems that can lead to the resources problem. Another one is resistance to change. Some workers or employees are there who doesn't want to change. They are very resist or they are very adamant towards the change. They doesn't want to change. Okay, they always want to have a secured, a good, you can say, means secured a good, or you can say a comfortable positions. They doesn't want to left the comfort zone to come up. They always try to remain at there only. So this is a big problem nowadays the industries are facing, and that is why Some industries are there who, after crossing 50 plus, they are forced to be make retirement. Those employees who are inefficient to work in this particular scale or industry, they are forced to take the retirement. In Tata Steel Industries, you can see, in Tata Cummins, on a lot of industries areas, you can see this, you can observe this. Now it is mandatory to upgrade of whosoever, of any age, you need to upgrade and you need to upgrade your skill, you need to upgrade your technologies, both important. Otherwise, you cannot compete with the other industries, or you cannot compete with the markets that are running nowadays throughout the country. It's very challenging nowadays. Okay, so for example, another very good example I can give you. Suppose in any specific department, faculties are there who can teach only specific subject. Apart from that, he is very much incompetent to teach another subject. In earlier days, when we were the students, some specific teachers are there who can teach only that particular subject. Apart from that, he will never ever going to teach the subject. But nowadays, the education industry has completely changed. You need to keep versatile. You need to be very much versatile. Otherwise, it will going to be a big problem for you in your coming future, for your promotions aspect of life, of your view, or from the you can see skill point of view. You need to be versatile. Suppose if you are teaching English, okay, it's fine. You are special in English literature, okay. Apart from that, you need to teach some other subjects. You cannot stick to one particular subject. Then you are not competent enough to teach in the education industry. Now it's completely changed. If you see this over the last 10 years, this has been complete. The pattern has completely changed. Now the teachers are need to be very much upgraded. You cannot stick to one particular subject and teach the students. No, you need to be versatile. Suppose if you're teaching English literature, okay, fine, that is your special paper. Apart from that, you need to teach some other papers. You need to upgrade yourself. You need to keep learning, go on learning yourself. Otherwise, there is a big problem. The institution or the education industry will never ever going to retain you for the position, for that particular position. No, it is not possible. The same thing happens to the other industries also. Suppose any competent workers who has been working to this industry for near about 25 years, he has, or 20 years they have given, but yes, the skill has not been upgraded till now. Then what will happen? Now it's a very important or core rule that you need to be very much upgraded. Otherwise, the company will step you back. The company will make you step you back, or they make you force you to retirement. No, we don't want this incompetent worker or employees working in our industry. Though you have given your 25 years or 20 years of experience, or you have given your 20 years of a life in that particular industry. Okay, this is another important thing. You need to change. You need to change. Otherwise, you are out. Okay, and apart from this, lack of engagement. This is another important point, which is very much important. If the trainer who is going to take or who is going to give you the proper training, if he is or he or she is not so much competent enough to teach you or to train you, then there is a lack of engagement. So these are the three important barriers of effective training parts. I think you have understood. Ma'am, please go to the next slide. Okay, now another important, what is the new dimensions in training? Okay, what are the new dimensions in training? With this particular title, I have already, in my previous class, I have already mentioned that with this particular title, I have maintained or have mentioned some other important titles. See, after clone, we have given, I have written that embracing the globalized world. So if you are creating a new dimensions, if you are giving a new definitions to the training, then you are embracing the new world. Means you are ready to accept the new challenges that are been surrounds in the world. Now, what are they? Okay, number one is cross-culture training method. Number one, first of all, I need to read out the points. After that, I am going to explain you. The first one is cross culture training process. The next one is digital literacy. The third one is continuous learning. And the fourth one is sustainable training. Now, sustainable training means development of skill or resources, keeping in the mind that you need to be very much conservative towards the environment or towards the development of the environment. This is another important point. Okay, you need to have or you need to keep the sustainable training. Okay, why I start with this particular point? Because nowadays this point is very much important, and every industries or every areas of the sectors of industry, they the first important or they are giving the first priority that they need to be give the training keeping in the minds of the environment. The training or the resources or the business practice must be related to environment. Now, what is the meaning of this? How the environment come close towards or will blend with the training process? See, for example, if any industries, the workers are inefficient to control the pollutions, to control the use of electricity, to control the use of minimum water supply. If the workers are inefficient, means they are destroying the environment resources. The important part. ये दिमाग में आ सकता है कि how can it be possible, sir? The training related to the environmental. This is the main important part. Before the training, the start of the training, nowadays in any industry, this is the most important or this is the first priority the management is giving to the employees, that if you want to be a good trainer, you need to be a sustainable training. The training should be sustainable. Now, how the sustainable? First, you need to give the lesson to the employees that how they need to be a sustainable trainer or how a sustainable worker. Use minimum electricity, consumption of minimum electricity, consumption of minimum water supplies, consumptions of minimum fuels. As much as possible, you means keep the control of the pollutions. Okay, don't go beyond don't go beyond. Okay, it's always should be in limit. Otherwise, there will be a rise of problem. Okay, so this is the first important point. That is why I have told you the first. Now, every days, every industry, this point is very much important that employees are giving a sustainable training. First of all, they need to learn how to sustain in this environment. This is very, very important. How to need. Suppose, say, for example, if you are earning, say, for example, 10 to 15,000 per month, then first of all, you need to learn how to sustain myself with this amount of money. You need to know the art and you need to know the skill. Reduce your expenses, reduces your filthy, and you can say spendthrift character. Then only you can control your sustainability. Okay, so this is first important part. The come to the next first one, cross culture collections. The meaning of this cross culture collection is preparing individuals for working in diverse international teams and environment by fostering cultural awareness and sensibility. Okay, awareness and sensibility. Now, preparing individuals for working in diverse international teams and environments by fostering cultural awareness and sensibility. This is important point. Means the workers need to give the training with diverse technologies. Diverse means they can able to work in any environment, in any circumstances, in any cultures. Cross culture doesn't mean that you need to work in any cultures. You need to be of any religions. You need to go and work with other religions. That is not the meaning of cross culture. Especially cross culture means you need to fostering in the environment. You need to be diverse in your skill, in your technique, to work in any environment. This is the meaning of cross culture technique. Say, for example, you are working in a Bangalore. Now, project manager has given you the assignment that Mr. XYZ, you need to work with some international companies. Then you must be always be ready to do that. That is the cross culture tech culture training. Means you are so much efficient nowadays. The trainings are so much efficient nowadays that any worker with a proper training, they can have or they can limit that cross culture training program, and they can work with any international companies. Okay, this is the meaning of cross culture technique. Then comes to the next is digital literacy. Now, what is the meaning of this digital literacy? Literacy means enhancing the digital platform, enhancing the digital skill. Okay, use online tools, equipments, data analysis, and essential technology for the upgradations of the skill. For the upgradation of the skill, these are the things very much required. Very, very important part. Digital literacy. Okay, you need to enhance the skill, you need to enhance the platform, online tools, the data analysis, essential for success in technology to drive in the world. Okay, digital literacy is very, very important. In nowadays, in any education industry, you can see there is a digital library provided to the student. What is the meaning of this digital library? If you visit to the digital library, 30 to 50 computers are there with with upgrade installations of the computer. Now, if you want to find out any journals, if you want to find out any paper or any references of that particular book, you can find it through digital literacy. Apart from books, this literacy is also very important. Apart from bookish literacy, this digital literacy is very, very important. You can upgrade the data, you can search out the data which is may not be available given in the books. Okay, you need to it's a very long process now. If you go and visit to the libraries and searching for some data and all, then you need to search out for one or two or three, four books. Okay, may not be the means the exact data is not sufficiently available on the books. You need to go with some other books also. But in the digital literacy, what happened? If you sit in the front of a computer, if you can access with the particular website, you can find out the entire data that you want to see. Okay, so this is called the skilled way of learning process. So digital literacy in training is also included in training purpose, just to upgrade and embracing the new technologies that are going and surroundings in the entire world. And the next one is continuous learning. From the name itself, you can identify what is the meaning of continuous learning. You need to be continuous with your learning. Don't stop. Go on continuing your learning process. Find out the knowledge through various means that can be of bookish, that can be of digital, or that can be of any platform. Okay, you need to be a continuous update your skills. What happens if you update your skill? Your skills will going to sharpen. Okay, and there will be enough knowledge through various means. You can get or gather information for various means. Okay, so these are the new, you can see the dimensions in trainings. Okay, now number one is cross culture training, number two is continuous learning, three is digital literacy, and the fourth one is sustainable training. Already I've told you in the first one the meaning of sustainable training, which is related to the environment, how to control and how to be sustained, remain sustained in the environment. That is one of the most important skill nowadays the trainer give to the workers or employment. I think you have understood. That is why I've given the name that new dimensions in training, embracing the globalized world. Ma'am, please go to the next slide. Look at this picture. I have been given here. I have been included this picture. A lot of countries, England, Bangladesh, I think, then some to Colombia, India, Germany, Russia, few people's means few dignitaries of representing who is representing the different countries. They are sitting and discussing the things. Now, what is this means? This called the expertise training method. This is called the expertise training. Now, this thing is important for international assignment. Expertise talking or expertise meets means you are preparing yourself for international assignment, or you are going to prepare yourself for any international projects. Okay, that is why the picture I have given you the picture, so that it might be very much easier to understand why this picture and what the picture means. Means when the expertise of different fields, okay, gathered or comes to one table, and there is a group discussions or there is a round table discussions going on, means there is an expert talk of the specific or particular field they are talking about. So finally, what will happen? It will going to come out some international, means you are ready and you are prepared for some international projects or assignment. See, now what are the expertise training you can see? The first one is the language training. The first one is the language training. The second one is cultural awareness training. The third one is practical skills training. Okay, the three important trainings. Number one is language training. Number two is cultural awareness training. The third one is, sorry, the next one is practical skill training. So these are the three important training, which is called expatriate training. These are called the expatriate training. Expatriate, EXPATRIATA, expatriate training. Now, language training. Why it is important? To develop the fluency in local language. Okay, to communicate effectively in the new environment. Suppose, say, for example, XYZ got some international projects to work, and say he now moved to Germany. He has to move to Germany. So, first of all, you need to be very much, you can see, you need to be very much developing the fluency of the local language used in Germany. Speak in Germany, not use, sorry, spoke in Germany. You need to be very much, means you need to know the language, local language. Then only you are very much competent enough to work in the given environment or in the given place. Okay, so language training is prior most important. Now, in today's world, say for example, nowadays, I am going to tell you one of the important fact. Okay, say for example, nowadays many private universities, not only in private, yes, specifically big private university, they run a training placements. Okay, they run a training and placement. Okay, they have a training and placement. And what is happening in the training and placement? Training and placement means, suppose, say for example, you can find it in engineering school, engineering colleges, or you can find in somewhere in private universities. Say for example, MIT University or any other university, big university, they are running training and placements. Now, in this training and placement, one of the most important priorities they are giving is communication. Develop communication, oral communication. Nowadays, you can see the companies, the respective HR want the people to communicate. The person who can communicate effectively, they are been selected, or they are been given the first priority. They are been given the first priority. Communication is a very, very important say. Some students are there. I have recently I've gotten an announcement, gotten important information through Google that somewhere of any say XYZ, I forgot the name of that particular university, 17 or 23 out of 50 candidates, 17 to 23 of some specific say university who has got selected for Wipro and TCS. Remaining the industries, hardly one or two, three got enrollment in Wipro or training purpose. As I was reading the journal, and I was reading, sorry, not the journal, as I was reading the newspaper, I got to know the information that nowadays of any AI industries, or say, for example, Wipro, TCS, Dell, okay, mm, uh, many other Bangalore companies are there, ABS scaling companies are there, okay, software companies are there. They are giving the first priority of communication only, that is too on in English, and your English accents must be very very clear. You must be quite resemblance to American accents. If American accents you can spoke or speak a little about, then you are getting selected. Whatever the marks you have got in your semesters, that doesn't matter. Nowadays, communication, that too in English, that too with some very good accents, the first they will be given the priority to those specific candidate only, to the particular candidate only who has got some specific accents while doing communication. Okay, some students are there who had secured 45 marks in engineering BTech, but they are selected with a very good packages. Do you know why? Because they have a very good command on English. Not only command on English, but they have a very good communication skill. That is, they can match up with AI skill, AI technologies. Why? Because nowadays these companies, say for example, Wipro, Dell, Zenith, and many others foreign companies are there. They have a Indian companies are there. They have a foreign collaborations or MOU with other companies of international. Now, if you want to talk with the international clients, you need to be very much to the, means you need to match up with the international clients. Otherwise, they cannot understand your language. Yes, you are a very good speaker in English, you can speak very fluently, but hardly somebody else can understand. Okay, so nowadays if you go through a survey, if you analyze the data, nowadays the company required not only communication skill in English, but apart from communication skill in English, you need to require a very good accents in English, that too American accents. Okay, this is the first priority they are giving. So that is why effective or expertise training comes under the language training, which is very, very important. Hope you understood. Next, the next training is cultural awareness training. Understanding the customs, understanding the values, understanding the etiquettes. Okay, to navigate the social professionals interactions effectively, which is very, very important. That is why this cultural awareness training is very important. You need to understand the local customs, values, etiquettes to navigate social and professional interaction effectively. If this thing is missing in your, you are not competent enough to cope up with any companies. The company will never going to recruit you. Okay, if you are filling a form, I don't know whether, see, for example, if you're sitting for an interview in Amazon, I'm talking about the Amazon only. Okay, if you're sitting for an interview in an Amazon, they will going to ask you some questions related to the cultural awareness. They will going to ask you about the customs. They will going to ask you about the moral values. They will going to ask you some etiquettes. They will see your etiquettes. They will navigate your social and professional interactions very effectively. If all these conditions fulfill, then you can go and work in the Amazon. Amazon executive process, the working in the executive fields, or especially for the MBA students, is a very challenging task. That is why they check the professional ethics of the candidate whom they selected. Professional ethics as well as cultural ethics. Cultural ethics means etiquettes, norms, values, visibility of in the society, professional interactions in the society or with your colleagues, with the company effectively. Though you are working in the Amazon company or any other company, you need to be remain professional, but they also see this professional thing in outside the company, also in outside company. Okay, they see these things professionals at outside the company also, means in the society, whether you are maintaining the professionalism or not. Okay, this one is very much important. These are nowadays you can see in this 22nd or 20 this new generation era or AI era, fourth generations, lot of changes are there. And you can see in coming days or in coming years, you can see or you can observe more and more requirements and more new things are being developed. A recent study has shown me that nowadays Indian industries or the Indian industries hub is trying to make a work culture of only 4 days. This may be going to implement very soon at the end of 2025 or 2020 after or beginning of 2026. Working cultures, they will going to change the working culture, means nowadays the industry is giving the employees 3 or 4 more extra days to be and accompanied with their families members. Okay, so nowadays it's a been going to get a rule, creating a rule nowadays. Somewhere it has been accepted, somewhere it's not been accepted, but now the government is forcing those industry has not accept this thing. They had to accept, otherwise they need to work out from this country. What is the meaning? What it means that 4 days will be your working period. In America, in Russia, or any other big countries in Dubai, they are having the work cultures of 4 days only. But we India's doesn't implement all those things, because here the labor charges is minimum. Employees are giving a minimal charges or minimum salaries. That is why it is not been accepting here. The employees are not accepting these things. Say, for example, if somebody has 500 rupees per day, and if he is working for 7 days, it means that 7 into 5, 3,500 rupees they will going to, he can or she can earn. But now, if it will resist to 4 days only, means only 2,000 rupees. Remaining 1,500 rupees is deducted. That is why this can't be implemented. So, government is trying to implement another scheme. The scheme is that nowadays they make a necessary, they make a important necessary rule that for any employees, the minimum wages is this much. They created a bar, they created a chart or table that this much amount of salary or this much amount of wages need to be paid to the workers. Apart from this, other more facilities you need to provide to the employees. Otherwise, your company's rules or license will not going to be renewed, and you need to shut down your companies. Within a very few years, you can see or observe this. 4 days wala jo concept hai, within a few years you can see. So this is the cultural awareness training program. Now the next one is practical skill training. Now what is the meaning of this practical skill training? Practical skill training means, say for example, learn practical skill like navigating public transportation, banking, and healthcare system in the new country. This one is another important. Practical skill training means learn the skill like public transportations, banking system, healthcare system in the new country. This can generate more revenues, and this can generate more profit to the specific employees working in the other countries, because these are the sectors where you can gain more and more profit. Say for example, in Indian truck drivers, they are, their monthly wages is, say for example, 25 to 30,000 for 24 hours. I mean 24 into 7 days they need to stay in the truck, and their salary is 25 30, maybe some senior truck driver 35 to 40,000, that much only. Over time they will be going to pay extra. But if you are working, say for other countries in Dubai or in Arabic countries or any other country, they are minimum salary is 1 lakh 70, 2 lakhs, 3.5 lakhs. This much amount of salary is there. And there is another important point, means if your shifting is for 8 to 9 hours, means wherever in the road the 9 hour shifting, if the 9 hour shifting is over, you need to stop your vehicle there and you need to take rest. Okay, public transportations in other countries, have a big opportunities, have a big benefit. They are in insurance, they have their insurance, they have their PF scheme, they have their healthcare schemes, they have their lot of facilities are there given to the truck drivers or cab drivers or bus drivers or whatever the driver transportations working in the transportation. These are the facilities they are providing. Okay, they have a holidays, weekly holidays, they have a separate other drivers. If somebody, if say for example your shift for 4 days, your shift, you are having a shifting of 4 days, means if 4 days is over, you need to go back to your home. Some another driver, the management will or the company will going to arrange to run the truck for another 4 days. After 4 days you resume your duty to the same truck. This is the scenario. Okay, in America, in London, in Amsterdam, in Dubai, Arabic countries, this all will there is implemented. And look at the infrastructure of the particular truck, their transportations they are working. A beautiful, really beautiful, a big sweet, sorry, a small sweet home. They have a good berth to sleep. They have a very good beds covers, pillow covers. They have a good, sufficient attached toilet. They have a kitchen room. In China, couples are there who are running the truck driver, they who are working in the transportation system. A very big profitable and big practical skill. Then there come is a healthcare system. That is also very, very important. And in this training, a particular training, healthcare system, if you can upgrade the skill, then you will be able to means earn in dollars, okay, in the new country. So these are some expertise training skills you need to upgrade. Please go to the next slide. Okay. Now, measuring training effectiveness or accessing the impact of development program. Okay. Measuring training effectiveness or accessing the impact of development program. What does this mean? It means that it requires a pre-training assessment, first of all, two, post-training assessment, third, performance evaluation, fourth, employee feedback, third, return on investments. So these are the few important measurement of effective training development. See, you have a questions or we have a doubts in our mind that how to measure the effective training. So these are the points which you can measure your effective training. Number one is pre-training assessment. What is this? It is the evaluation of the knowledge and skill of participants before the training program and begins to exhibit a baseline, to establish a baseline. This is the first way to measure the effectiveness of training method. Before the start of training, the management requests, management asks, or the trainer asks or evaluate the skill of the workers or the skill of the employees. And after the training, they will again going to take a test or they will going to take an assessment on the post training method, post training period. And automatically you can measure the differences, the assessment or effective training development through this technique. This first important pre-training assessment and post-training assessment, this measurement, through this measurement, you can automatically means impact or you can automatically access the training development program. Okay, this through this point. The next part is post-training assessment. As I have told you, what is the meaning of this post-training assessment? Post-training assessment means after the training is over. After the training is over, okay, after the training is over, you need to be checked that how much competent and skilled your trainers are, or sorry, your employees are after getting the training. This is another important. With these two technologies, automatically you can measure the effectiveness of training. The third one is performance evaluation. The third one is performance evaluation. The meaning of this performance evaluation? Performance evaluations means track on the job performance after training to access the application of new skill and the impact on overall productivity. This one is another important. This one is another important. Performance after training. Okay, performance after training. You need to evaluate each and every single employees who are undergoing this training purpose, undergoing with through this training. They can automatically access their evaluation, that how much skilled now they are, how much skilled they are, and how much skilled the employees are after the post training session. This is a very good way to measure the development. The next one is employment or employee feedback. Another important part, employee feedback. The meaning of this, employee feedback. What is the meaning of this employee feedback? Employee feedback means gather the feedback from the participants on the training program's effectiveness, content delivery, and overall experience. Feedback is very, very important. Say, for example, after the session is over, if I'm going to ask you, how was the session? Ma'am will going to ask you, how was the session? Okay, whether the session is effective or not, whether you understand the content or not, whether the training or whether the teacher who is teaching, whether he is or she is very competent enough to teach you, your positive response can make lot of differences. That is why the feedback is another important part. Employee feedback is very important. Then return on investment, ROI. This is some another thing. Financial benefits of training program. Analyzing the cost saving, improvement productivity, and increase revenue generation. See, if you can observe this throughout the period, throughout the year, automatically you can measure automatically you can measure whether the training that I have given or the management has given to you, is it effective or not, whether it is effective or not. This is the way. Okay, return on investment means whatever the investment you have given on the training, whether it is been returned to you fruitfully or not, whether the training is been returned with you fruitfully or not. This one is another important part. Is it clear? This one is another important. So return on investment is another important part. You need to understand. Okay? So these are the simple techniques of measuring the development of the effective program. Pre-training assessment, post-training assessment, performance evaluation, employee feedback, return on investment. Understood? So these are the 5 important criteria or 5 important points through which you can understand whether the training is effective or not. Ma'am, please go to the next slide. Yes, look at this picture, celebration. Okay, look at this picture. Picture speaks a lot of things. There is a celebration going on. The celebration, what does it mean? Maybe the company's CEO or the management is celebrating for the revenue generations and all. Okay, or uh, uh, or you can see that after overcoming the challenges in training sessions, they are celebrating. They are celebrating. The people or the trainers or sorry, not trainers. The employees are celebrating among themselves. This is called the overcoming training sessions challenges. Now, strategies for success. Okay, overcoming the training challenges with, or you can say the strategies for success. The first one is set clear objectives. The objective must be whatever the objectives we set or whatever the goals we set, it must be clear, specific. Okay, it must be have a definite, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time training bound to ensure the clarity and focus of the training. That is why set clear objectives. The next one is engage learners. What is the meaning of this? Use interactive activities such as studies, real world examples, making training relevant and engaging for the participants who are participating. Okay, another important point. engage the learners. Engage the learners means interactive sessions will be there, case studies will be there. Ma'am, slide change kar di. हाँ, case studies will be there. There will be some real world examples, filling relevant trainings and engaging the participant. Then there is a seek feedback. Seek feedback. Feedback, I think it's a very important part for the stakeholders to identify the improvements of the areas where to improve, to add to give the further refined training programs. That is why this feedback is very, very important. And then the next one is collaboration with the stakeholders. Now, involve manager, HR professionals, and subject matter expertise in the training design and deliver courses to ensure alignment with the organizational need. This one is another important part which is involved in the which is means you need to involve the manager, you need to involve the HR professionals and subject expertise to train and design to deliver the process which ensure the organizational needs or according to the organizational demands. You can change this thing. So these are the few more important aspects of the successful successful completion of the trainings. Understood? Or you can say the overcoming the training challenges. I hope you understand. Ma'am, please go to the next slide. Ma'am, are you there? See, I have already given you the say feedback form. How the feedback form? I tried my level best to to inculcate or to to inculcate. Apart from you see the content, I have tried my best to give some examples also, so that maybe when you will going to learn, okay, you can through this picture or through this particular picture frame, you can automatically understand. Okay, see for example, now this see the campus or employee feedback form or employee evaluation form. This one is very much important. You need to keep this very important. Okay, now what is this evaluation method? It is nothing just to continuous improvement for training programs. It required for continuous improvement in training programs. Okay, now how many types of feedback form are there? Formal structured feedback form, informal feedback form. Informal means open discussions, brainstorming, one-to-one conversation, opportunities, participants share their feedbacks. This is called informal. And the formal means structured survey, questionnaires provided to the standardized employees or standardized approach to employees. Inform. जैसे वो मैंने picture बताया आपको, मैंने as I have given you the picture. In that particular picture, you can see that is the formal pictures, evaluations, or you can see that is the formal, say, feedback form. Then performance review, another feedback form. It is a performance review that is access on the training on the jobs or identifies the areas for further development. This performance review is why important, just to understand or just to identify the particular specific areas for the development where you need to develop. And the last one is post-training survey. Post-training survey means which is conducted after completion of the training program, whether the particular training has been satisfied or not, what is the learning outcome, what is the applications of a new skill, whether the employees understood the trainer or not, whether the training is fruitful, skillful, subject oriented, knowledgeable or not, whether they like to continue this training program further, These are called the post-training survey. Okay, these all are the questionnaires are there where you can answer all these things. This is called the structured or improvement or evaluation feedback form. Why it is important? It is important for the improvement of training purpose. Hope you understand. Ma'am, any slide is remaining still now?